What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video. Today we're taking a look at another film review. Today we're taking a look at a fan favorite movie, a critically acclaimed movie, a movie which I still see a lot of edits about on TikTok and Instagram, and people fantasize and romanticize this character and love to talk about him when they talk about business. And this guy is loved by crypto bros and like Andrew Tates alike, and I was actually interested to see why they liked his character and what this guy was about, because I've seen him all over the place. People in my business class back in the day would talk about this guy, and I just wouldn't have a clue of who he was or what he did, so I decided, because it's here on Netflix, why not watch it, see what it's about. And it is it's a 2000s movie. It came out in the 2000s, and it's an hour and 47 minutes. You can watch it on Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, or Google Play, and it has a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, a 68% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 4.4 out of 5 on Amazon. Patrick Bateman, a wealthy investment banker, hides his psychopathic ego from his friends. Later, his logical fantasies escalate, and he submits to an uncontrollable bloodlust. So, how he starts this movie is with him talking to his mates in a bar, and they're just having a grand old time. We then see him, go back to his house and do his makeup and do his routine of his skincare, healthcare, and it's a very set routine that he goes through every morning with all of his sort of moisturizers, skin cleansers, pore openers, or pore cleansers, whatever he fucking put on. It was a whole fucking list, and I'm gonna be honest, it seemed like a lot of effort and something that I would personally never be asked to do, but it does set up the stage for him being very critical, very, I don't know how to put it, very typical and very set in his ways, very routine based, and already sets him up to be an eerie character, because he says the ideal Patrick Bateman is a fantasy and he isn't real, and that gives me the impression that this guy is two people in one, because throughout this entire movie we have people calling him different names and him referring to himself as two different people, and I don't know if that's because he was trying to steal someone's identity or not. Again, most of this movie was really fucking weird, but he listens to his music on his Walkman, very similar to Star-Lord, and he goes around with his wife, who he doesn't actually love, and he's having an affair, and she's having an affair, so technically it's fair, but, you know, he is in love with his mate's girlfriend, and then she is in love with his mate, and you know what, they might as well just swap at this point, but sure. He is also the yes man. He feels very typical, and he says everything that you would want him to say, if that makes sense. He is a very positive person, and he just says the right thing all the time, and he just says what makes him look good. I don't know if he actually means it or not, it never really showed, but with how he was talking, I felt like he was a little bit of a prick, because he just said what you wanted to hear, and he wouldn't give you an actual opinion, and it felt very shallow and very basic. We then have him hiring prostitutes to basically for him to record, which I thought was weird. And he records them, they leave, he brings them back, and then he murks them. He then also murks one of his colleagues because they have a better card than him, a better business card. However, it was Jared Leto, so I can let it go, not gonna lie. I can let that one go. He got an axe to the face, and he chainsawed someone through the face. I do believe he killed quite a few other people by strangling them, and someone else got a better business card than him, so he followed them into the bathroom to try and strangle them, and they thought it was kinky, so he got awkward and left, which I thought was quite funny. He then kills someone in the street by shooting them. The police chase him, and he kills like 8 more people on the way. He killed the homeless dude, and then he starts having a mental breakdown, like crying on the phone to his lawyer, and his lawyer meets him the next day thinking that it's funny. He's being investigated by William Dafoe as well, and William Dafoe is also being weird with him and is thinking that it's him, and also not sure if it's him, just trying to like get to the bottom of it, doing his detective work. He also kills his receptionist by shooting her with a nail gun in the back of the head, which I think was wild. And that's pretty much it. That's the movie. He manages to get away with all this murder in the end, and everyone just thinks it's a joke, and he continues to get off scot-free. Really fucking weird. And I don't know why people idealize this guy. Fair enough, he's got washboard abs and is very fit physically. Mentally, I don't think he's that fit. Gonna be honest, he does need some help, and I think he's trying to get that help when he's talking to his lawyer, but his lawyer doesn't believe him, and his lawyer just doesn't give a shit, to be frank, and I think that's a bad thing to do. Like, surely, if he's openly admitting this, like, tell the police, tell someone, tell a psychiatrist, get him some help. I don't know how to go about this, but he needs help, and it's clear. We have all these inner monologues of him sort of shouting at people, telling them that he wants to kill them, but they're not hearing it. So I'm not sure if that's just in his head, but most of the time when we see him do that, it's from his reflection or from a different angle that we wouldn't normally see him in. So I'm not sure if he's actually doing it or if he's just thinking it. And this movie gets you to sort of think and to sort of question the character. And this movie's been out since the 2000s. Like I said, this is a very popular movie. There's nothing that I can say that can add to this movie that someone hasn't already said or hasn't already pointed out. But I still want to give my opinions, my thoughts, and what I noticed when watching this movie. And I just don't get why people idealize him. Like, that's the main thing I want to talk about here. Like, why the fuck do people love this guy so much? Why do they think he is so good? And I don't get it. He gets away with murder in the end. Fair enough. Like, he gets away with murder. Is that why people like him? Is that why people want to be like him? I personally wouldn't want to be like him. He even says at the end of the movie that he thinks he should be punished for what he's done, and that he's not happy with what he's done. So he is living in, like, pain, and he isn't happy with himself. He is hurting on the inside. Just because he's rich. He was born into that. He didn't actually want that. We've seen it several times in the movie that he has said that he doesn't like his job. He doesn't want to work there. He doesn't like the people that he works with. He just wants to fit in. He doesn't like how he's feeling. He doesn't like having all these sort of murderous bloodlust intents. He wants to be better. He wants to feel normal, and he explains that, expresses that, but no one takes him seriously, and no one likes him, and no one thinks he's worthy. Everybody talks about him, saying, literally to his face, because they think he isn't him, and they think he's a different person, that Patrick Bateman is like a stuck-up sort of goody-two-shoes, follows-the-book guy, so they don't believe him when they're talking about him, and it's a little off-putting with how he sees himself and how he sees everyone else around him and how everyone else sees him. Like, no one believes him. No one, like, is giving him the opportunity to explain himself. And he is trying to make amends and fix his ways. And he even tells people that it's not good that they should be alone with him. Like, something bad will happen. And he is trying to fix that, and he's warning people, and he's trying to get help, but no one's believing him. I think it's a rather sad story, and he definitely needs help, and he definitely deserves someone to give him the time of day to listen to him. But then again, if anyone is left alone with him, they're not going to last long, to be fair. They're not gonna survive till morn. And I think it's an okay movie. I don't think it's a brilliant movie. I don't see where the horror comes from. None of what is shown is that scary. It's more of a slasher, sort of murderous movie, a very gory movie, as we see someone get, like, impaled by a chainsaw, someone's head blown out by a nail gun. But then again, we don't really see it. We see it in blood splatters, and we see it from a different angle, so we don't actually get the head splitting with the axe. We don't actually see them be chopped in half or get impaled by the chainsaw, but we do see the chainsaw in their body, and he's drawing it, he's writing about it, he's saying shit in his journal, in his notebook, in his crossword puzzles, out in public, that he has done this shit. He's admitting it, and he's writing about it, and he's drawing it, and no one is seeing it. No one is questioning why the fuck is he drawing that in a public place. He is drawing someone who has been killed by a chainsaw in a public space, in a very fancy restaurant, and no one bats an eye. So it does leave me to believe that some of it is his imagination, some of it is real, and these people just don't give a shit, honestly. These people are just stupid and insane. I'm not sure if I get the full premise of this movie, I'm going to be honest, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to comment down below and try and correct me on the stuff that I got wrong, but I just didn't get most of the movie. Like, I just can't understand why people didn't see what he was doing, or how people didn't notice. He killed someone in the stairway and no one batted an eye. No one came out to see what the noise was.